All right. Well, welcome everybody, whoever's here right now. My name is Chuck. I run IsNowGlobal, a Black owned and Black run web hosting and web design firm. What we are normally doing today is, as you can see, let me go ahead and turn off this alarm here. And let's get today. I saw a tweet from a good friend of ours, Rich. Please go check out his Pinterest guide. He's a great guy. He gives a lot of really good information about how to use Pinterest to like kind of levy and gain a new following. We actually at here at Islam Global, we were actually looking into doing a lot of Pinterest things soon, and hopefully this links page we're going to create today will help with that. The main reason we're doing a links page is because a lot of people are using third-party links when they already have a website. And the main thing when it comes to that is if you don't necessarily want to use um, you don't necessarily want to use really like a third party site when you have your own. You can just create a subdomain, which we're not covering today. Today we're just covering the second option, which is to just create a second page on your website. Another page doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's attached to your main domain, and people can easily reach there if they need to. So please, thank you for joining. If you're here, I have a lot of great surprises for you coming down the line. But today, I want to first take some time to just take a quick like minute or two, maybe 10 seconds, just to honor those we have lost in the last I don't even know how many weeks, months, years. Just take a moment now to just properly make sure we give those respects out. Okay, sorry for the dead air, but we just had to make sure we at least paid our respects to those who have given their lives to change the world in the last couple of months. They were murdered, unfortunately. So to get to that, my condolences go out to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and anybody else who's lost their lives in the last couple of just to the biggest gang in the world. And we're gonna leave it there. And not getting heavier, let's go ahead and get started. Uh, to kind of talk about, so first I want to say thank you to everybody who's here. I'd like to, with your permission, give you all like a really good applause for taking time out to actually learn something that might help you in building your audience out. So, without further ado, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you coming to learn, and hopefully you gain something out of this. As you can see on the screen right now is my that's my icon. There's my Twitter and my website. If you guys ever need any questions when it comes to this or any sort of tool you're going to use or display in the future, please feel free to reach out and um, reach out to my Twitter and or go to my website. I think we have a contact us page on there. Right now, we are in the midst of redesigning the website, so don't be afraid if you go to the website and it just happens to be down for a quick second. But without further ado, oh, there it is, Rich. I was just talking about Rich. Rich is the whole kind of the precipice of what we're doing here. He mentioned that you shouldn't really be using third party links to essentially link to your resources when you have a website that you could just create another page on. Um, Today, I'm going to show two ways on how to do this. The first way is going to be using WordPress. I know we sort of have a thing with WordPress right now, but a lot of people still use it. Um, Right now, I'm going to use WordPress and using a tool called Divi. Divi is an amazing, amazing tool that you can use to speed up your development time when it comes to developing, designing, and putting out WordPress sites. We recently started using this up until probably a month or two ago, and I have completely been changed by it. It's now my favorite tool in my arsenal. It's literally opened up so much more space in my life to get more stuff done because of how really good it is to use. Um, and I will, as we go along, I'll actually be dropping a link to Divi. This would be an affiliate link, so please let me know if you want a non-affiliate link. I will drop that as well. But um, so without further ado, let's get started. And I want to give everybody in here, especially Rich, like a round of applause for being here to learn and gain knowledge on their site. So without further ado, welcome. Okay, let's get started. So we're gonna change scenes to my Divi. So this is one of my websites that I have right now. Uh, it's just a blank page. We're using Divi to build it. The first thing we're gonna start out doing uh, is just this is a blank page. As soon as you click blank page, this is what you see. We're gonna go ahead and add a new row. So this is where we're gonna put your logo. Oh no, absolutely no, Rich. Shout out to you for kind of inspiring me to take the time out of my day to do this. I really appreciate you. So thank you, Rich. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're gonna go ahead and add the top section. This section is essentially where we're gonna add some text here. Uh, this text necessarily doesn't have to be. It can just be your logo. Please forgive the fact that I'm running this off of a MacBook from 2013. So if things start to get a little slow, please bear with me. I would use my desktop, but right now I have all my monitors plugged in here. It's easy for me to use. Good to go. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add a title. For right now, we're just gonna call it my links. 1 second here while I get rid of that. We can call that page my links. Please bear with me while I do this. So this, as you can see, my box here is in the way, but we just created. This is how simple it is to create like a paragraph or text document in Divi. You just click the plus button, you search for text, you add it, and that's really mainly it. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to, as you can see, that's not what we want as a logo. We want it to be much bigger, much more attention grabbing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and highlight the whole thing. Um, we're going to make it bold. You can make it underlined. I don't know personally. A lot of people like things underlined. I don't know. I'm reading a lot of UI books and learning that people like underlining things does bring things to attention, but it does sort of break unless you kind of follow that theme across your entire page. Could break UI UX. That's besides the point. So let's go ahead and like do some things. So we've done my links. We're gonna change the type of text it is to a heading. That way it's much bigger. As you can see now, it's much more readable. Um, there are a few ways to go about sizing. There's pixels. I know I'm just throwing random web dev stuff in here, but I feel like it's pretty pertinent to what we're doing. Uh, so I think Divi defaults to using EM, which is the proper way, at least in my opinion, to handle text reading online. EM, unlike pixels, don't just stick one size and that's it. EM sort of scales to the actual device. And I know I can't really show you this here because it works, but just want to explain that when you are doing text and sort of link making and or heading making, you want to use EM. And to give you kind of just a quick nod on that, 2EM, 2EM is probably the safest bet for you to put text at. That is would normally be what this heading would be. And as we like change the size of the page, you will see that it will normally change. And I'm gonna continue on before I waste so much time here. So let's go ahead and made it bold. Now we're gonna over to the design section where we can actually change more about this than just the actual sizing of the text. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make the text center aligned, which we can do. I believe it's actually right here. And now your link is now your title is centered. Sorry, my apologies there. This is the cool thing. If you happen to use a dark and light theme across your entire page, this is normally where you would just normally come here to change it to light, which we can't see now because it's literally white. But normally if you want to just do a quick change from light to dark mode, it's very easy to come over to Divi and just just click the component you're trying to edit. Go to the design tab and just come down here and change the color to light and dark. You do still have the ability to change the color from like red to orange. I don't know if this is taking too long to show. um, Oh, it looks like it's not. This is one of the weird things about Divi is that you need to look and where it says text color, not just text color. But we're gonna leave it at black for now. Is there? I will leave it there. Not a big deal. So now that we have our intro sentence, we can go ahead and get on with our day. Actually, you know what? Why not? You know, I think that's fine. If anybody wants to name this page something different, please say it in the chat. I will rename it. This is an interactive live stream. I want to take as much input from you guys as possible. So I'm not just talking here. I like to talk to people and with people. So let's go ahead and continue on. So we've created that. That's the first intro. If you want to add another section where you kind of describe what this page is for, you can do that by just clicking the add button, add another text box. It always defaults. You can actually, something I learned is you can change the default settings of what happens when you click text. So if you want it to always be bold and centered, whenever you do that, please let me know. And in our next video, we'll cover that. Because I learned a lot of really cool things as to how to do things with Divi, and I want to make sure you all have that. So in this case, paragraph works here. I think it's still a heading because it's a subheading. So we're gonna make it heading 2 is a little too big. Let's go down to heading 4, and I think that's good. It's still a little big. Might go down to heading 5 here, and yeah, heading 5 looks good. As you can see, it no longer is kind of flush with the page. It's more standing out. So in this case, we're just gonna say something like, "Hey, you." I can't spell. Please forgive me for my phonetical disabilities here. Hey, you. These are my links. I know you normally would not do this for your link page, but again, this is the link page we're making just as a test. And one cool thing about Divi is I can export this entire page and just kind of drop it in a tool we're gonna show you later, and you guys can just pick everything up there. So hey, you, these are my links. And as you can see, before we had a full text, it kind of wrapped around the page and filled in. But now that we only have one line, what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you also center align this. That people reading this, uh, that people who read this aren't like jarred when they're reading. So if they see something that's centered, they're not like, oh, centered, left, centered. No, you want to kind of keep things centered as you go along. Make sure your users are not in any way agitated. You want to keep your users as happy as possible. It's how you keep retention rate. So we're gonna go ahead and make this link centered, and that's our subheading for our link, for our link page. That's very simple. I'm gonna try and keep this as simple as I can. And if you guys want me to go into like the really cool like 3D transformation things, please let me know. And in our next video, we'll get to that. But I want to keep this really as helpful as I can to those who are just looking for a link page. Okay. And so that's the first link. So these are my link. Here's my link. And now we want to go ahead and add. So that could be the top section. And now we're going to add another section for all of our links. So this is another section. And in here, we're going to create a button. I want to say we can create a button. I think for now, we'll just keep it at button and go from there. As you can see, the default button is blue text. And when it hovers over, it's blue lettering or blue outline and then blue lettering. We could change that, and we will. In this case, I'm going to make it green. So instead of here's in Divi, if you want to make a button do something, say something else, you just change the button text section. So in this case, I think the first button we're going to create is just a link to IsNowGlobal.com. So we're just going to say main site. And again, I don't create the best like copy. I do more design, and then the copy is usually a lot of work for me actually. But for now, we're gonna name it main site. That's the name of that button. That works. Here's the link, and this is where you would want to put the link to the button that you want this to go to. Sorry, didn't English there correctly. This is where you put the link that you want the button to send your users to. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna just simply send my users or the users over to IsNowGlobal.com. As you can see, that's also on the screen right now. You guys can head there and see some of our designs. Shout out to ForStackersOnly.com. Amazing site. Love the work I do with them. Amazing, amazing. Please go check it out as soon as you can. A lot of great resources there to learn how to use things. Um, so yeah, so we're gonna create a link to IsNowGlobal.com. Um, and we're gonna go ahead and save that. The good thing about Divi is it has an autosave feature, so regardless of where you are or if your computer dies, it keeps a pretty good up-to-date backup. There is some little finicky issues with that, but it just remembers that what you did and gives it to you. So let's go ahead and align this button. As you can see, this button is like completely to the left, and no one likes that. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and move this button to the middle. All right. So now this button's in the middle. This is our button to our main site. And we're gonna like kind of build upon this. So I'm just gonna create 6 links, and then we're gonna add a few more things to kind of punch upon those links. So that's the first link. I'm gonna go ahead and make a few more changes here. So now that we've had our link, it goes to our main site. Let's go and test it out. Oh yeah, I'm in design mode, so I can't click the button. But normally, you would go to my link, and then we'd be able to click that. You will not be able to use this site because the site is not live. This domain I'm using is not public domain. So right now I'm just gonna design in here, export it, and I'm gonna upload that to my repo, and hopefully I'll give you guys a link there after this meeting, or should say live stream. Another thing we're gonna do, let's go down to text. As you can see, dark, and here's the dark and light mode text again I was mentioning earlier. In this case, since the button is already sort of transparent, we don't necessarily need to play around with that too much. So we can just skip down to button. And when you want to change a button, you want to make sure that you let Divi know you want to change the button. So they actually ask you, do you want to use a custom style for this button? You want to say yes. So now we can change the size of the button. If you want the button to be a little bigger, that works too. As you can see, the issue with this is I'm actually gonna make it really big and show you what the issue with pixels is versus EM. So right now I'm changing the pixel size of the button to an extremely enormous size for absolutely no reason. And the problem with this is, while 62 pixels might look great on my 1080p screen here, it doesn't necessarily look good on mobile. And I will show you that right now. So as you can see, 62 pixels on mobile is like just plain too big, like just absolutely too big. One way that you can go ahead and mitigate this with any site, anything you're using, instead of using pixels, like I was saying earlier, use EM because it scales. And so we're gonna make this 2EM, and as you can see, boom, automatically fixed. And here's the best part: I don't have to worry about it not changing across different sections. Another really cool feature about Divi, you can immediately see your website in your desktop, mobile, and tablet view, which I had to buy devices just to do this at one point, and having this built into the tool is maybe worth the money on its own, but we're not gonna get into that. So let's go back to the main site. As you can see, now your button is scalable. A lot of people will just normally increase the size and forget about it, which would then cause issues on a mobile site. In this case, using EM, it mitigates all that. It gives you a fully scalable design, and realistically, I think that's kind of what you would want. And now let's change the button text. So let's say we want to make the text color black to match the colors we already have. So we're gonna do that. Now, just by changing the button text color, now we have our colors. Our buttons look good. They match our theme. They follow our UI UX guideline. If you want to add an image background to the button, you can. Why not? Let's just try. I'm all about trying things, and please ignore the random people in my thing. So that looks like that. You don't know. Sometimes things work out, things don't work out. Try things, people. Things break all the time. You just gotta, there's an undo button for a reason. So if you ever feel afraid, try it. Don't ever be afraid to try something new. Especially when it comes to like tech and stuff. Like 99% of tech is breaking stuff, and then 1% is figuring out when you absolutely tired of like not breaking things anymore. That may not be the best way to explain that, but hopefully you got it. So we're gonna remove this picture because it's absolutely not working very well. So picture's gone. Now we have a link that goes to my main site. It's underneath my page, and what we can do now is we save this, and we could do this over again for, I think I have 5 links I'm gonna add to this page. I have How many links do I have? I have 6 links. We could do 6 more times, but to save some time, we're gonna go ahead and just do something I learned recently, which is that you just go over to this section, which instead of showing you the actual design of the page, it shows you the design elements of the page. And I'm gonna click on that. And as you can see, I have 2. So you can see the button that I have is just right here. So what we've added in just kind of plain terms, we've added 2 rows, 2 text sections, and 1 button section. Now, we could just continue to add sections, but what we can do is there's a really cool feature called duplicate. And we're going to duplicate this button 5 times and edit them as we go along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6, right? I'm going to make sure I can count right. All right, that's 6. All right, so now we've created 6 buttons on our page. Let's go back to the desktop view and see what that looks like. 6 buttons, 6 links. And they all currently go to my main site. So if you want to change each individual button, which I think is quicker than doing it over, you know what? I actually don't know. You let me know when you're doing this. What's quicker? Is it just doing this every single time or just duplicating it and changing the settings? Either way, the second link we're going to have is going to go to our Divi affiliate link. So if you want to use this tool that I'm using right now, I'm actually going to drop this link in the chat at some point. I can't spell affiliate, so please forgive me. It's the reason I have spell check on. Everyone should have spell check on. There's no reason. It's 2020, people. Spell check is like a thing everyone should have. And really, our affiliate link is right here. Oh, nope, I clicked it. So I'm gonna copy this link. I'm gonna paste it here. And it's a weird link, but I will have when we're done with this, you'll be able to actually go ahead and click this link on your own time. Excuse me. So that's our Divi link. We have created our second link, third link now. Our third link is supposed to go to our onboarding link, because I've been trying to automate a lot of what I do with IsNowGlobal, and one of our things that we want to do is automate the onboarding process so that we are quicker to getting you launched, really. So we're going to create an onboard button here for our special people that want to be onboarded, and then send them over to our onboarding link. Yes, and now we have our onboarding link for our new people that are coming on to our new clients. Hopefully one of you people that's on this call, or I should stop saying call and meeting, on this live stream. So that's our onboarding. Our next link is going to be our newsletter link. I was supposed to send an email out to my newsletter people about this live stream, but I do feel bad, and because of that, I'm going to send them all the HTML template for the free, because I think that's only fair. Because I feel kind of bad. I should have sent that email out this morning. It's been a rough week for everybody. Let's forgive each other for not getting everything done. So now let's get to our newsletter link. Newsletter. So instead of main site, we're gonna call this new email list. And I'm just gonna provide a link to my email list page. And all of these are pages that I created using the template we're gonna see later in this video. But it's all just a quick way to launch a new page, and I actually have a template built out for everybody in the live stream right now. So if you're having any sort of like issues with the template, you can reach out to me using either on Twitter. My Twitter is on the screen. There's a website on the screen you can reach out to as well. Sorry for all the ums too. There it goes again. So now next button. So now we're done with the sign up, the email list, and our next link is going to be our consulting link. So as some of you know, I do consulting for SEO, web hosting, web design. So if you have a website that's hosted on any platform and you just want to know if you're using the platform to its best ability, I can help you out with that. I spent maybe at least 15 years doing web stuff at this point. I think I would love to use whatever I've learned to help you get the most amount of audience you can get. So now let's, that's not what you want to do. So let's go ahead and put consulting here as one of our links. I hope I spelled consulting right. Let me know if I didn't. I don't think spell check is doing its job right now. And all of these, and we're gonna go change one more thing, which is that right now I forgot to mention that you want to have the links open in the U tab because you always want to keep your users on the same page. If you have any, if you ever have the option to open a link in a new tab, always go for it. It helps the retention rate. I know for a fact a lot of people aren't necessarily always going to go click back on the word browser. It's like, oh, I went to this new link from this page. Let me head back there. Most times they're on the phone, and when they click the link, they're already out of your app or out of your page. So if you open up in a new page, they always have your old page open. So even if they take months to get back to your page, they will eventually come back. And they will already have been logged in or logged out, depending on how you keep your cookie settings. But later date. Consulting. And our last but not least, oh well, we're at 30 minutes already. Our last but not least link is going to be the download link that you guys can use to download a template we're going to use for the next section. So this is going to be, and obviously this link is not going to be live, but I will put the link in the chat in a second or two here. So I got to figure out how to get this link to myself. Yeah, opening up another tab, opening up another program right now is dangerous because I don't know where it's located on the screen. So we're just gonna do that later. HTML template link, and don't worry, we're gonna have this be accessible in a quick minute here. HTML template, link pages HTML template. So yeah, this template's already done. I already have it zipped up and ready to go for you all that are in here. But we're gonna walk through it and just gonna show you how simple it is to make a page with them. So now that we're done, we're gonna go ahead and click on this. We're gonna save this, and realistically, this is all you really need. You can do some more things like we can change the background, or in fact, now that this is the basic part of the whole live stream. If there's anything else you want me to do, you want me to change the color of the pages or anything like that, please say so in the chat, and I will make sure that I get that going. I'll give it about a minute or two because I know there's a sort of a delay. So I'll wait about a minute or two for you guys to respond and say what color of the background you guys would like. And if there's no one in a minute, I'll save this. I'll export the actual the JSON that hides behind the content, and then we'll move on to the next one. So let's fix this screen over here. Okay. And I'm gonna do one thing here. And I'm gonna go over to Nipsey Blue. Okay, Nipsey Blue. I need to look up what Nipsey Blue looks okay. All right. We're going full crip, it looks like, aren't we? So let's go ahead and turn this site into a site with a C. Also, I'm terrible with dad jokes, y'all, so please forgive me. And or enjoy the dad jokes. I don't know. These are jokes, man. It won't seem to. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now let's change the whole background of the page to good Nipsey Blue here. Let's see. What would we consider a nice crypt blue? Nice deep blue. Kind of blue you don't want to be like talking the wrong way to. Let's see. I like this one. That's a little too blue. What do y'all think? Is that the right blue? That looks pretty fly cripping to me, as far as I can tell here. So we can leave that here. So that's the color of the background. So that's how simple it is to change the background of the page. I'm gonna run through it again because I was talking when I did that. Normally what you want to do is if you want to change the background of the whole page, you can change the background of the button, the section the button is in, or you can change the background of everything. And by default, Divi will default to being just transparent for all of the different things. So unless you explicitly tell it to make the background white, imagine this being transparent, which is why when we changed the main background of the page, it changed everything. So in this case, now that we have these all Nipsey Blue, I think we should change the text to white. And let's just go ahead and run through that because I think it's probably good to go through how we change the text color. So let's change the text color. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna highlight the text. We're gonna change it using the text color side to white. And we're going to change up. I don't know what just happened there. Yeah, please be aware. Divi sometimes you might want to take your time with it. It can be a little, depending on how fast your computer is. You want to take your time with Divi, realistically. But again, we're just gonna come in and do the same thing here. Change the text color to white, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you all how do we change the button from dark mode to light mode. Remember I mentioned that earlier, so now we're gonna go back there and look at that. So what you want to do is you want to quickly, instead of having to go change every single part of the button, you can just come here, and I think there is, I think it's missed it. It's text. Okay, we go to text, and we just change the color from dark to light. My mistake. Looks like I overrode the text color myself here, so we're gonna change it here. Yeah. So either you can do two things. You can either change the text color in here to dark to light, which will just have Divi automatically figure out what the color is and then change it, invert it. Or if you are specifically want to change the one color, you come down to button, you make sure you're doing custom CSS, and then you change the color to the color you'd like. In this case, we've done that for these two. Now we're gonna move on to the Divi affiliate. We're gonna click the little gear button to change it. Come down to design. Let's see if we change the button. We did change the button color text here, so same thing. We just click white. And you remember how earlier I said that it's probably quicker to just copy and to duplicate it and change it afterwards? I may have been wrong about that. So making them all white, just so that we follow proper UI. You want to make sure your colors aren't flush with the page, that they contrast for the most part. And what we're gonna do now is make this button text white, and make this button text white. Make this button text white. And the last one, but not least, obviously, is to make this last link white. Next time, we're just going to use the actual dark and light mode button, but this time we were a little ahead of ourselves. So now this is our link page. It's very simple. On the best part is because we used EM instead of pixels, we don't have to worry about having to necessarily change the sizing on each thing. So if we want to just go see it on tablet, looks great on tablet. If you're on a phone, looks great on the phone. And that's the power of using EM over pixels, because modern browsers will pick up that EM means make sure my link is the size of the screen versus make sure my link is 20 pixels wide across all devices. So just a little web dev tip there. So back to make sure I'm not seeing. Make sure, yeah, that's a very respectable blue. Thank you, Jay. I hope it's very respectable. It's my like life's goal to make respectable colors. No, I'm messing around. But yes. So now we can go ahead and publish. I'm just gonna go ahead and save this draft. In my drafts. So if you all, hopefully this was pretty useful. This is just how to do it in Divi. I'm gonna show you all how to do it with just a plain HTML page, and I'm gonna save you the kind of pain it takes of going through and getting all the dependencies and linking all the proper text. So I created a template for everybody, and so before I move on, any more questions on Divi? Anybody? Give about a minute or two before I move on here. And if you have any questions on Divi, let me know now, and I'll try my best to answer them for you. And if not, then we're gonna move on to the actual simple HTML part of the live stream. Well, it's been about a minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next section. And if anybody still has any questions, please let me know, and I'll go back. But let's go over to our new scene here. And to kind of give you an example of what this page looks like, I'm gonna go. Let me see. This is a window, not a capture, right? Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and just actually see this page without the Divi tool on it. So okay. Since no one is having any issues with Divi right now, let's go ahead and move on to how to create this with HTML. And this is going to be a lot simpler. I'm not going to be going through and dragging and dropping things. I'm just going to explain what the template does and how to use it. And then I'll show you all where to go get the actual template. Okay. So for everybody who stayed the last 40 minutes and has learned about Divi, thank you for staying. With your approval, I would like to give you a round of applause for making it through 40 minutes of drag and drop. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next section. So that was Divi. As we said earlier, as I said, by the end of this video, we'll have a link for you to go. I'll actually have a live link page that we're going to build right now with each other, where you can go and download this HTML template I'm going to be using. So let's go ahead and run over there now. So we're going to go ahead and change the scenes for a second here. So let's go back and hide my bookmarks. Poor Chrome, just chugging along here, trying to be good at itself. Okay. Gonna close the timer down. Okay. Now let's actually switch scenes. As you see, this is my first time live streaming, so I'm still trying to get the hang of everything. So please bear with me. I need a soundboard for my Zoom. I told you, Rich, I'm gonna be in there with the soundboard next time we have a call. Just because I feel like it just adds a little something there. So